What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a really good Monday. Sorry for the little delay. I was just trying to double check a few things and make sure we just got some news that Tyler Hero, all those Miami guys are in, which is sort of predictable. And I'll just sort of go through my priorities, and you guys please say what's up, throw in some questions, throw in some thoughts, but I'll go through some of my priorities for the day. I'm just getting a quick update on my projections, and we can go from there. Priorities on both sites for me right now are I do want to get exposure to this Portland OKC game, but it's hard to not say that the Celtics guys, Derek White, I had it White, Smart, Pritchard, but the more I think about it, I think Pritchard is actually a better play than Smart is. So I have it that order. I like all three of them, and I probably won't play too much of White and Smart together, but I think that's really where you start with for me, along with Maladon, Trey Mann, and Jokic as like a general core. I made this slate very small for myself. I'm focused on certain games. There's ways to get different within those games, which we can explore. But the OKC thing, like playing the weirdness of Roby, and we get these bizarre nothing games out of him every now and then he puts up 45. And I think that he's interesting. I think that guys like Kuminga, if they start, are interesting. I think that whoever starts for the Cleveland side of when we get that starting lineup, whether it's LeVert or Kevin Love, and I think it'll be LeVert, but it could be Kevin Love. If Kevin Love somehow got that start, I think I would play Kevin Love. If LeVert's not starting and Kevin Love is not starting, I still have a little interest in LeVert, but not a ton. But much more interested on FanDuel on him in him in general. But again, I'm going to sort of keep the Portland OKC game with the Celtics mixed in, and then Jokic as sort of my general core. Sorry, we got more news. Quentin Grimes is out. I'm not sure that's going to make any difference for me. So that's sort of the general thing on both sides. The only difference is I like Halliburton's price on FanDuel. DeJounte Murray is more appealing on FanDuel. I like Trae Young as my favorite running back on DraftKings, just barely ahead of Murray. But that is also because I'm speculating that Bogdanovich might be out. If he's out and with Gallinari already out, I really like Trae and I really like Murray both. But again, if I'm going to pay for two guys, it's going to be Jokic, Trae, Murray on DraftKings. And then I'm going to mix in Jimmy Butler as a play on DraftKings. And I'm having a hard time getting to Bam because I want to, the Portland, I even like Eubanks. I don't even mind paying a little too much for him. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, LeVert, as in real life, I was very down on that move when everybody thought it made a lot of sense. I don't love it in general, but if he's going to play 36 minutes, I'm going to play him at 4,500. There's just no two ways about that. If he's going to play 24 minutes, I have very little interest. So that's where I stand with LeVert. But again, it depends on the starting lineup. So guys, please hit the like button and everything. Drop in your questions, drop in your thoughts. Sheet should be here in a little bit. And let's make some money tonight, guys. So what's up, Kevin? What's up, K9 Bronco? Let's see. We got Nick in here. What's up, man? And Rody, obviously. Good to see you. Yeah, Brian's 100% right about that being terrible for the Cavs, though. I think DeAndre Hunter is fine. I'm trying to relate it. Like, do I want to play DeAndre Hunter or would I rather take a shot on Kuminga? Again, Kuminga is a little cheaper. So I think that the DeAndre Hunter is fine. It's just you don't like he doesn't. I don't know. They still have Capella rebounding. I think it's a bump to Capella. But DeAndre Hunter is just a frustrating guy to play in tournaments, even in a good matchup, because you're kind of just banking on something sort of unusual happening. We've had everybody out before and had Hunter do nothing, including Trae. We've also seen him have some big games in those spots, but like he doesn't shoot the ball enough. He doesn't rebound the ball enough. I'm okay with a little bit of it, I guess, but I personally am not going there. I don't see the need to. All right. Do I think Toronto-Boston stays close? So I don't, but I think it's close enough. And I honestly, like I've struggled with this all day. I was surprised by the line not moving as much as I thought it would. But it does have me a little bit less on Smart for that reason. And I still like Derek White and I still like Pritchard, but it does worry me. They're not going to be in all of my lineups, but one of them probably will be. And if you think Pritchard gets the blowout run and the run, unless they're down by like 35 or something. But if the game is close, Pritchard will probably play. And if the game is not close, he'll probably play. So I think he's that's why he's more appealing and why you see so many people playing him. All right, maybe we could throw up the injury report just to make sure that there's not anything else that I missed. I don't think that there is. Let me see. Can I do this? See if this works right. There we go. Whoops. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. Anyway, do I like the wood thing? Let me hold on one second. Let me get an update here. The wood thing I don't have as I didn't have the. I actually didn't pick up that part on the thing. Did I miss the Wood news that Wood was going to sit? Because I didn't see that anywhere. So let me just double check a couple things really quick. But yeah, if anytime Wood's out, yes, I'm going to play Şengün. It's not even a question. And I don't care the matchup. I don't care anything. I just always will play Şengün. Oh, just with a questionable tag. Yeah, I mean, Şengün. That's the thing about this. You know, that makes you want to like stay away from some of the earlier games if you can, because that's a big piece of news, obviously, and that makes even other guys who like Kevin Porter Jr. more interesting. And Şengün is obviously like a great play on both sites. Probably. Let me just double check. He's 5,900 on DK, and let's see on FanDuel. Levert will remain in the starting lineup, so I think you're going to want to mix in some Levert. Same on FanDuel. So yeah, I love Şengün if Wood is out, to answer that question. The Q is just we don't know. It's with Houston. You probably should lean more toward that the guy would sit. So that is pretty interesting. The only thing that even if I like those guys, like all the guys I mentioned are still tremendous plays, and I can build around that core because that game starts later. You know what I mean? So I can make that decision later with that information. So just another good reminder that delaying always has an advantage in that form. That's a big deal. Yeah, I mean, that's a big piece of information that we are not going to probably have right, before lock, I guess, before 7. All right. Any other quick thoughts and questions? Let's see here. I missed a few of these. My favorite on the Toronto side, I have no interest in anybody in Toronto. I actually don't know why we would do that. Like personally, they're all meh. Like, I guess with Khem Birch out, you could make an argument. You could make an argument, I guess, for Boucher or Precious or I don't know. I don't like anybody. It's like everybody's, there's just these plays that there's no reason to. You're just trying to create a play. I think that's not real by trying to play these things. And if somebody happens to get hot, of course these guys have ceilings and they're going to be low owned. But there's no logical reason to play them that I can find. Expand on Sheets and Sacramento, Miami talk. Still like Butler. I just like the Butler and Bam personally. I don't mind if you wanted to play Hero. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not doing it. But I just like the Butler Bam side of things. With the Bam, it's the matchup. Butler, it's the look what's been happening to this team. Like, come on, and it's also like an easy matchup. So it seems like a really good spot for Butler. And he would be the next tier of guy I would play. He and Bam after the obvious, Jokic, then Trey, then Murray, which is as my priorities. Do I like Mobley on FanDuel? I genuinely didn't give Mobley much thought tonight, and there's just so many good plays that I like that I didn't see a reason to go out of my way for him. But I think he's fine. 7,200 is definitely reasonable for him. It's just. I think it's fine. 7,200 on FanDuel. Yeah, I can get behind it. I like a lot of other plays that I'm sort of prioritizing, but I do think it's a good play at 7,200 just on a vacuum. What's up, Sheets?
What's going on?
We're just answering some questions, talking through the slate, and probably going to be one of those annoying nights where we get information later. We have the Christian Wood, don't know what's going to happen with him. Be interesting to see who starts with Portland and OKC. That's not till later. And yeah, I mean, we got Wood and a few guys questionable. I mean, we've got Wood and Gordon and Schroeder questionable, which I think that in this situation leads me more to they're going to sit, which is going to make Şengün and Porter strong plays, maybe even Tate. Anyway, so there's some big stuff out there that we're trying to keep an eye on, but otherwise it's mostly going to be I told everybody what my thing is. It's OKC Portland. It's and there's a mix of slew of different guys. You get into whether you want to play Roby or Poku in the front court, you want to play Maledon and what's his name, Maledon and Man together. I think all of it is fine. I think they're all great plays, but I'm going to let my decisions be made when I see the starting lineups, because I'm going to have like 3 or 4 of those guys probably in most of my lineups. And then I'm going to have one of the Celtics wings and some Tice.
Yeah, I don't think that might not be good enough. I mean, I think that.
No, I'm not saying it's not chalky, but I'll have the ability to pivot later, no matter what.
No. What I was going to say is that maybe you need more than that from the Celtics.
From the Celtics?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you got everybody out. I mean, you have Tatum out, you have Brown out. I mean, and you have the front court out.
Yeah, I played one of the guards. You could play 2 of the guards together. I don't mind that. I would prefer to do it with, and I have a little bit of that actually. I actually have a lot of that. I prefer doing one of the guards with Pritchard.
Yeah.
I have no interest on the Toronto side of anything, and
it's not something that we should just try to force into Toronto. Probably not.
I don't see any reason for it. You're just, I mean, like, it's just, there's so many good plays. Like, do we need to make an excuse of why these guys are better plays?
Yeah, I guess not.
Boucher, even like now, like thinking about the OKC situation, like I think I'd rather play like I don't know, Poku or Roby or something like that.
How chalky is Jokic going to be now? I mean,
I think he's going to be pretty popular.
Yeah, Jokic. Can you play Jokic and Young and DeJounte?
Very, very easily. Oh, all 3 on FanDuel, yeah.
No, or you play all 3 of them on FanDuel? Oh, Jesus.
You play all 3 in the same lineup on FanDuel. Pretty easy.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I think it's worth it, too. They're all tremendous plays. Like,
you don't like, you're not as into, like, Jordan Poole and Butler and all that stuff?
I'm off of Poole more. I'm going to have him in a couple lineups, but I am into Jimmy Butler and Bam. They're the other exceptions that I'm making. But again, it's going to change because some of those positions are going to be filled with the Houston guys if all the Houston guys are out. So I do have guys from these early games in my lineups, but I'm probably going to try to get a little bit less of it because, I mean, like Jokic, obviously that doesn't matter because it's not like I need that information. No information is going to make me not want to play Jokic at all. I don't think. The other games I've just, other than Trey, well, that's the other thing. That's the other situation that we should, figure out is I think Herter is a good play on FanDuel. But with no Gallinari, and then we still have Bogdanovich questionable, I think Trey is just an unbelievable play if Bogdanovich is out also. And even if he's in, I think he's just a tremendous play. But I don't really like on DraftKings any of the Indiana side of it, even though there could be an argument made for Batate for sure. There's just a lot of good center plays, and I'd rather play Jokic and I'd rather play some Eubanks. But I think Batate is viable. And
so will you update me? So are these Indiana guys in, like Batate?
Batate's in.
Okay.
I just and again, just in the interest of waiting, because I want to know what happens with the Houston stuff. Who knows? We might get an early starting lineup from the Blazers or OKC. You might see somebody you don't expect in there. Like, I mean, we just don't know. I mean, Portland has 8 guys projected to play minutes tonight.
Oh.
And they're playing OKC, who has 9 guys.
That's troubling.
So that's why I think you want to build with that theory of like trying to play at least 3 guys from that game, but probably want to be more around 4 in a lot of your lineups. And they're all cheap. The only one who costs anything is Eubanks, who I actually like. Yeah, it's hard to see the path to failure for those guys a little bit. Like at least 2 of them should hit from either side. Anyway. Okay, let's go over the favorite Portland guys and OKC guys again. This
is without knowing who's starting, obviously.
Yeah, it's really hard to know because like Blevins is projected to start, and I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Wait, who?
Keegan Blevins.
I don't even have him projected. I don't think.
Really? He's in like everyone's projected starting lineup.
Oh, I have him. I do have him.
Yeah, he's not a guy.
I don't have him for much. Okay.
That's not nobody. No, he's not a guy you want to play in general. Like I might throw him into one lineup, but if they start Elijah Hughes, I would have some more interest. I do like Elijah Hughes better than Blevins. If they started Chris Dunn, And even if they don't, I'll still play Chris Dunn some.
Do they now that Blevins is going to start, but nobody else?
They didn't announce that Blevins was going to start.
Oh, okay. We're just projecting it. Okay.
We're just guessing. So that's why we're saying we don't know who the better plays are. They'll start Keon Johnson and play him minutes because they have no choice. So he and McLemore, McLemore just can always shoot him way into a game and he's going to have more minutes. So that's good. My order of Portland is. I don't like feel great about any of these things until I know exactly who's playing. But Keon Johnson can do nothing, but I think they will give him the minutes that make me feel a little bit safer with him. And I think McLemore can shoot into his way into a game, but I think it'd be Johnson, Eubanks, Dunn, Ellaby, that in that order probably. But it's really, it's okay because I'm just picking 4 players and I'm going to make my decision when I see the starting lineups. And on the other side, I really like I like all 4 of Maladon, Mann, Roby, and Poku. But I don't know which. I mean, and again, I even like Lindy Waters a little bit off the bench. And I don't think that taking a shot on Krejci is the worst idea. But I don't know. I don't know if Roby's going to start. They started Jeremiah Robinson Earl over him a ton of times this year, and it's just hard to know. So I like Roby right now, but if he doesn't start, I can switch. I can do my switches over to the later games, to the later other side. But right now, on the other side, I think it's Maladon, then Mann, then Poku, then Roby. I think you will get lower ownership on Roby for what it's worth because he's frustrated people a lot. And they have Jeremiah Robinson Earl coming back. But I do think that you look at Roby's game log and it's like every other game that he's in this kind of situation, he puts up 40. So I don't know. So it really is tough to decide exactly who your favorites are without knowing who's going to start. I have no interest in Desmond Bane. It's the same play as, and there's a merit to this, like they did with Desmond Bane. You could always play him. Playing him at 8K feels a little bit thin on this slate to me. I wouldn't do it. I think it's reasonable. He's probably going to get around 40, but I personally think there are better ways to build than using Desmond Bane. Sheets, any thoughts on Bane or any of the stuff I was talking about?
I can't get to that.
Yeah.
No, but what I will say is kind of an interesting. This is something that I do more often than probably is correct, but tonight, right now, it's weird, and this happens a lot with the way I build stuff. Is I probably having 80% Jokic, but in none of my big buy-ins.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be as crazy popular on DraftKings as you do because I think there's some other good plays at center. They want me to rank Poku, Eubanks, and Roby on FanDuel. On FanDuel, I think I would go Eubanks. Oh, it'll be Eubanks 1, and then their other ones are a little priced up over there. So I think Poku and then Roby, but I'm okay with either one. I have 2 big lineups on FanDuel right now, and I have one with Poku and one with Roby currently.
Yeah, I do have Jokic in a couple of the big ones, but not the biggest one. You know me, I'm a sucker for those guards. I'm probably going to play Trey and DeJounte together.
Yeah, on DraftKings or FanDuel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
without Jokic.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm doing all 3 of them on FanDuel, but
I gotta check that build out. So I gotta see what that looks like.
It's pretty easy. It's surprisingly easy.
Is there anything I haven't played in FanDuel in a while. Is there anything tournaments on there right now? Or it's probably all sold out.
Yeah, 277. There's a 777 tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what they can do there.
For 100K. Davion Mitchell on DK we know Fox has been out every game. Davion Mitchell, it's so funny that people weren't playing him at 5,200 in this situation, and now they want to play him in the worst matchup at 7,100. Because I've heard people talking about him, and I love Davion Mitchell. Actually, I really like him as a player, but I think he's been unbelievably good against the weakest defenses, Orlando, Indiana. He did have a nice game against Phoenix, which is and his usage has been good. I think he's fine. I'm not doing it personally. I don't like playing point guards against man. I think you can play Davion Mitchell on FanDuel at 6,500, but I still don't think that's even a priority though. I actually might throw him into a lineup on FanDuel though. because that's getting reasonable enough. I think Miami's going to control this game. I don't think that defensively. I think that they're really tough on point guards, even though they've struggled lately as a team. Sheets, are you getting any Davion Mitchell?
I'm actually building a FanDuel lineup right now, and Davion Mitchell's not in the big one. At least my first go at it. I'm getting Brandon Williams for now.
Yeah, interesting. On FanDuel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think it's going to be the place where people do play him.
If at all, yeah.
No, they'll like he's going to be owned on FanDuel for sure.
Okay.
He's got like a 6x projection at 5,700.
Right.
But on DraftKings, he's more out of play. But he's part of the guys you're using for sure on FanDuel. I mean that game, there's just it's basically impossible for people not to get there when you start playing having less than 9 guys and like everybody's cheap. Like it's just I don't know how it happens. How that doesn't hit.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh, we get shut out. Don't do it. I'm gonna shut out this lottery. Hold on FanDuel. Let's see what happens. It's gonna be really close. Let's see what happens. And boom. Let's see. Oh, I only got one in. No. Hold on. Oh, I put the wrong file. Don't do it. Don't shut me out. Let's see. Uh-oh. Oh, I got in.
All right, nice.
I got in.
Yeah, there's why don't you talk about some of the guys who are projected like Kuminga? That are sort of interesting plays. I mean, obviously he has to start, but I was very weirded out by what happened with him the other day. They just didn't play him in the second half twice in a row. And I know the other guys were back, but he was starting in those games, so it's really strange.
I'm not really so funny. Let me take a look to see if I get to any Kuminga after all. I mean, just all that Celtic stuff opening up, like to supplement the OKC and the Portland is just. I still have him as like an okay play, but like just below these other guys.
For which player is that?
For Kuminga.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. I'm just throwing out other guys that.
I mean, I will say this. Okay, I'll say this. That there's no, except for Poco, there's no power forward that projects better than him, point per dollar.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like either a point guard, shooting guard, like all these point guards and small forwards.
Yep.
So maybe that is interesting.
Yep. So what about? I'm gonna take a quick look at the projection. You guys keep hopping in questions and everything. Wow, it's like oh my god, the prices on DeRozan and Butler on FanDuel at 8K is so appealing. I really like the Jimmy Butler play, by the way, today. I think that we play him. Usually we get Jimmy Butler right because every now and then I got him really wrong once. He put up like 17 fantasy points this year, but usually we get him. I think he put up like 50 something in the next game or something crazy. But this feels like the narrative thing that you kind of want to follow. What I do worry about this game staying close, even though it sounds weird because they've been so bad. But this intensity that the way they've been playing like this that they've been so awful. But even in those awful games, like Jimmy Butler put up 51 the other night against the Knicks. You know what I mean? They got smoked by Brooklyn. I don't know. I like this spot for Jimmy Butler. I think it's a good one. Anyway, that's where I'm at on that one. Just wanted to drop that off because I am trying to figure out. So FanDuel under 5K forward sheets. Who would be your guy?
FanDuel under 5K.
Yeah.
Which forward? Any forward?
Yeah.
I mean, Ellaby.
Yep.
And then LeVert. I mean, LeVert's small forward eligible.
Yeah. And he's back in the starting lineup, which we got at the beginning of the show, which is a good sign. I do like Siakam a little bit, by the way, on FanDuel. He's 8,600. It's a big difference playing him over there versus the guys we could play on DraftKings. The guys you're playing him over on FanDuel are like guys who are significantly there's like him and Bam, but on DraftKings he's 1,300 more than Bam. It's probably not going to matter because we're probably going to just end up playing Şengün.
Right.
but this is what we're doing for the moment, I guess, or what I'm doing for the moment, I guess. I was just going through a FanDuel build real quick. I'm going to probably be out of here in 5 or 10 minutes, but guys, we can keep, okay, let's keep going. Question. Sorry about that. Guards, what guards am I targeting is my first place in? Well, Sheets, I think we're on the same page in this it's the Boston guards and it's Young and Murray with Maladon and Maladon is the priority. And then then after that, it's probably White, then Pritchard, and then the spend ups are Trey and Murray. And I like them, Trey on DraftKings and Murray on FanDuel better. How about you for your guards?
Yeah, right now I have, again, this is all changing based on the news and who started. It's like right now I got like almost, I have like 90% Maladon and Poku right now on DraftKings. And then it's like stupid to say, right? I have 70% Keon Johnson, but that's not going to happen. I mean, it might happen, but I just have to see I got to just see,
Yeah, and if that Houston news changes and we get their starting lineup, and there's, those 3 guys are all out. That's pretty.
And for the Celtics, I have 70% Tice. I don't know how I get away from that. That's a really, well, I guess he doesn't have to play a bunch of minutes, I suppose. He doesn't have to play.
It's just the thing is that they've been running this really tight rotation. It's obviously an important game for them.
Yeah.
And he's a part of their main rotation. So with both of these guys out, we really should be interested. But I do feel nervous about it. And another one is the Aaron Nesmith. I think it's okay. I think he's a shooter. If he gets hot, great. But there's a way he doesn't get all the minutes that he's projected to get, but he's also not getting the ownership that I sort of thought a 3K starting player would get. Because there's just so many other good spots. So yes, Tice is definitely the one I think that I'm playing in my big one right now. Bogdanovich is in. So that makes me like Murray very close to Young on DraftKings, I would say. If he was out, I would have loved Trey. Greg Brown is out. Greg Brown is out tonight, guys. That was before Greg Brown was out, so that was my initial thing. So so Greg Brown is out. That's partly why the Portland even looks better. What's that? It's not news. It's just news that.
Oh yeah, I didn't have him out. Okay. I had him out.
Yeah, I posted my early builds, but then they announced him out. But yeah, that was trying to get exposure to that to low-owned guys, and that he's not playing tonight. So don't play him. Guys, pop in and everything. Say what you got is, drop in any thoughts or questions or anything like that. Oh, favorite Charlotte play on DK to run back against Jokic. I don't have any interest in anybody on Charlotte. I'm not looking at it. I don't want to you don't have to run back every time you play a guy who's expensive. So I don't like anybody. But again, any one of them they're the same as the Toronto guys. Any one of them are like, sure, they're fine. Like there's somebody probably has a decent game. There's just so many good plays.
Right.
That some good plays that I just so much prefer, and I want to keep my core tight tonight. Şengün was like over basically everybody for me if it was out. And they're different prices. I mean, Şengün is cheaper, but yeah, I would play Şengün over Eubanks.
Just so you guys know, I did update projections for both hockey and basketball before I logged on here. Anything that's happened since I've been on here 15 minutes, I don't know about. But looks pretty tight right now. And then we're waiting on Houston, right? So what is Christian Wood questionable?
Yeah, Christian Wood, and that's the kind of situation where a team has nothing to play for and they're tanking. So you think Christian Wood's questionable, Schroeder's questionable, and so is Eric Gordon.
Okay.
So KJ Martin or Deshaun Tate, and then Şengün is the one who I'm going to play. I don't care about having. He's had a couple of huge games in this spot before, and he's had a couple of busts. But he put up 42 the other day in 25 minutes. Like it's the Spurs too, so they don't do it guard anybody. Yeah, I really. The only thing you worry about Şengün is the foul trouble if he plays. The only thing is though, like I don't know if I'd say that just the he over Eubanks that easily. Like I may have said it too quickly. I think Eubanks is a tremendous play. I would if he's in. My plan would be to try to play both those guys together on FanDuel. I would rate them ahead of every other power forward. So I would definitely try to play those guys together. O'Shea is out. Okay. Hey, thanks a lot, Nick. Appreciate the kind words, buddy. We hope Hope you can crush it as well. Let's see. Brissett. That's interesting. Is that real? Like I didn't. Is it, so are we official that O'Shea is out? Let's take a look. Yeah, O'Shea Brissett out. Okay, so these Pacers do this every week.
Wait, who did you say was out? Oh, Brichette's out. I thought you said Shea, like Shea Gilgeous.
Jalen Smith and Batatse are better plays, but would they just possibly play Terry Taylor? And is that better than this other stuff? Do you know what that's going to make me do? I'm going to force myself to play a pretty big size lineup with Lance Stevenson tonight. I really think he's a great tournament play. You talk about, I mean, we have all these other 40. Play him. Don't play him instead of Maladon. Play him with Maladon. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Those guys can get you 90 between them. Like, there's a path here, especially if the Hawks just beat up on them. Like, I mean, but he can get run in this game. Like, it doesn't have to be Justin Anderson. You know, what if Halliburton picks up 2 fouls? Like, there's just a million ways he could. And when he does get a chance, he tends to
right.
nuts. I mean, he had a game the other night. He only played 22 minutes, but he made 10 out of 15 shots. He put up 34 fantasy points. And now that you got the whole backcourt is out, and then why do they need to play Justin Anderson? They don't need to play either of these guys. It's not like part of their future team or anything. I think he's interesting. So that's what that does for me. I do think the bigs are more interesting on Indiana. I'm curious how the projections will update. By the way, I've used a lot of projection sites in my life, and I want to give a shout out to SaberSim for how good they've been. They update faster for me than any other site does.
They do. They sure do.
Yeah, it's really good, and it makes life so much easier. Yeah. All right, let me get. As I say that now, my projections are still trying to upload, but yeah, there they go. All right, so let's take a look at Indiana specifically and what they like. I'm not going to give away everything, but I'll give. We'll do this every day. We'll drop little things about what we like in there, and it's sort of baked into a lot of Sheets' projections anyway, too. So we'll talk them up. But let's see what we got here. I think it's more my internet, by the way, because we had that weird storm this morning. But for some reason, it's not updating. There we go. Okay. Let's get in on Indy.
Yeah, Lance, Terry Taylor, Justin Anderson's 20. Yeah, nothing. So Goga.
It's like nobody's going to jump out off the page.
No.
Goga is probably just a better play than he was by a little bit.
Right. This game is right at 7. This is right in there.
Yeah.
So this is no smash play that's a result of this.
There's no obvious one, but there is. I think it does open up some possibility of maybe taking more shots on Lance with just with the other guys already out. I was already sort of flirting with that idea, but that's not.
And we do like him at home.
Yeah, we like him at home. We like him against Atlanta too. I think that was one of his big games before. Wood is out.
Is that right?
All right, let's fire up Şengün and Gordon.
Wait. Who's out?
So we're going to play Houston. So now you really should be trying to stay away from the early stuff, guys.
So Christian, what you said was out?
Wood, Schroeder, Gordon are all out.
Woo-wee.
Yeah, so I think that you really gotta not play the any early value stuff or mid range. Like I'm not. I mean, I'm obviously playing Şengün. I'm really curious who they start because they've got guys who literally may not project for anything, who could end up being just crushing. Josh Christopher is one of them. I guess actually, you know what? Only Gordon's. See, if they start Christopher instead of Matthews, I still don't understand why they don't. That could be interesting. Wow, that's it's going to be a wild situation, this Houston thing. Let's take a look at if they were able to update it on here. Okay.
I think they'll wait to see a starter, right?
Yeah, but that means you have to, that's not going to be till 8. So.
Right. Oh, right.
Oh, they don't. Yeah. So they still, I think we still haven't updated it yet.
Okay.
It's gonna. I mean, I already tell you it's gonna be faster than the other sites will, but Deshaun Tate is gonna be a play too.
But Şengün's got to be the nuts, right? I mean,
yeah, his path to failure is probably foul trouble. That's pretty much it. Yeah, so now Şengün is the priority on both sites and everything. Is there a reason? Any reason? Yeah, there's a reason that I'm not going to do it. There's just too many good plays. I can't just force guys in and not play good plays because I like that it correlates. It's a 9-game slate. Like we don't need to do that. It's
Right.
it's totally fine to like Siakam on Toronto is like a good example of that on FanDuel. Like he makes some sense on FanDuel, but I'm actually probably not going to even play him anymore with this Şengün stuff. So
Right.
like I just think you're forcing guys in. If you're like we have a good reason to play a lot of players. So trying to make up an excuse of a reason is not something that's a good DFS play at all. Is it going to take 400 plus on FanDuel tonight? Probably on FanDuel. You never know though. You ever know that you get a weird bust game or everything in the last game somehow like divides up evenly and no one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've seen those Portland guys. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
nobody has to smash.
Well, they only have 8 players though listed.
Oh,
right now.
that's
I think
right.
they might have 9 guys, 9 bodies, but I only have 8 players projected to play any minutes. Do I like Porter now? I do like Porter. I do. I think that game becomes very like stackable with this news because I like Porter, I like Green, but I don't like they're not the priority. The priority is Şengün, and then it's probably if it happens to be what's his name starting Christopher, then I would say Christopher, but I don't think it'll be him starting. Could be KJ Martin, could be Matthews. But I do like Porter at just in a vacuum at 5,700 for sure. Little worried. It's funny. I would say I don't want to change my tune. I was gonna say I was a little worried that they're gonna be in trouble without all these guys. The truth is, any team that doesn't have Christian Wood on the floor is usually a better team. In real basketball, it's just a fact. This guy is. I mean, I'm not even saying he's a bad basketball player. He's good. Like he doesn't play defense like at all. And Şengün is a much better basketball player than he is. Yeah, all these slates are going to be nuts until the end of the season. But then we get the playoffs, and then we get baseball. So we actually get to like have a less stressful life because that's these. We won't have to deal with this, but we're going to have to deal with it for a couple weeks. All right, let's see about Houston again. I'm going to take one more look before I get off and finish my builds. And I can tell you guys right now, the only guys I'm playing in the first games are the really expensive guys.
Trey or
Trey or Jokic.
Jokic.
I do think like Halliburton on FanDuel at 75, you could argue is a strong play, and I will throw in one Lance lineup in a pretty decent sized tournament.
One Lance, you said?
Yeah, I just think that Lance is a good large field. When all this stuff happens, it becomes really easy. But you can play him in addition to some of this other chalky stuff and just that's just all the moves you need to make to get different.
Right. And that's what we've seen. And we've seen that, it depends on what buy-in, but just a couple, just
Right.
one or two is all you really need to beat single entry.
Yep. And I'm just taking a quick look at the projections now.
Nothing yet, right?
Yeah, I think Şengün is going to.
I will tell you this, by the way, that the projections usually don't like Şengün as much as you do.
Like who?
Şengün.
That's not in these situations. No, I like it. No, because you're only talking about when I say to play him when Wood's playing. Every time he's not there, he's legitimately like projected to like 7x.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that.
And he almost like he put up like 50 twice when this happened, and then he put up another one where he had he got in foul trouble, so he had like 28. I mean, yeah, I very, very, very high on this play. And if he gets foul trouble, I'm sorry, guys, but just know that I'm losing too, because I'm going to be playing unless I sneeze. I'll do an anti-Şengün or Şengün foul trouble lineup and play like all the other. I still like the Boston guys, yeah, but a little bit less of a priority for me than they were. But I still am going to have them. I just probably that's why I'm saying that I'll probably just end up with like one in every lineup, but not trying to overexpose myself to multiples. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Good luck to everyone tonight. I'll be in Discord, and let's crush it. Sheets, good luck, man. See you guys soon.
Thanks.